We've waited for ICOs to come under the lens that little bit more, and now they have.
They have, yeah. So this was today was the first time there was a criminal case in a U.S. federal court in which a judge ruled that securities laws could apply to ICOs. Go ahead, we're going to ask a question.
Oh, no, but we've had civil, is that the issue? We've had civil actions before, and this is the first
criminal one, yeah, that's the distinction. And so basically what had happened was there was a case where a guy had two ICOs, and he was arguing that they were currencies, and because they were currencies, they weren't securities.
Okay.
And the judge said, hold on a second, just because they're currencies or just because you think they're currencies doesn't mean that we think they're securities. So what's going to happen next is it's going to go to a jury trial, and they'll ultimately decide the outcome. But the judge said a reasonable jury could determine that securities laws could apply here.
So how are folks reacting to this? Is this going to sort of curtail the growth that we've seen in ICOs?
You know, there wasn't actually a huge sell-off today. The huge sell-off started sort of last week. So we'll see. I think this was, it doesn't come as a huge surprise, I don't think, to people in the crypto world, because the SEC and regulators have been saying for quite some time, sort of warning people, you know, these things could be securities, and there could be a lot of illegal securities offerings if you guys aren't registering with the SEC.
Most of the stuff that regulators and law enforcement's gone off there, it's pretty shady stuff, even on its face, right? The stuff that most people talk about and the institutional stuff, so far most of that's been okay, right?
Yeah, I mean, and as you mentioned earlier, there were two other sort of enforcement cases from the SEC that came out today that touch on what you just said. So the first one was sort of this company that was sort of like a Walmart for ICOs, and it agreed to a settlement with the SEC for failing to register as a broker-dealer because it hadn't, I mean, you have to register as a broker-dealer if you're offering securities. And was also handling digital tokens that the SEC had deemed securities. And then the second one was a crypto hedge fund that the SEC said was marketing itself.